live performance of The Perfect Buzz, my rapid-fire spoken word opus about getting wasted on a combination of caffeine, alcohol, and cannabis, was in Ottawa. I don't have hits, but I knew from that debut that The Perfect Buzz was a keeper. Lying in the grass, sighing, exchanging grins, the world was more interesting than it actually is. Ronnie has a tortoise, we watched him eat a dandelion leaf, and had a pipe hit, flew the planes until they busted, played Who'd You Rather Sleep With until we both got disgusted, all got the desired reaction from an understanding crowd. There were a couple of raucous men in the audience I had clocked for having known some of my other songs, and not having any friends at the show, I accepted their wave to join them when I was done playing. Fucking right on, man. We had no idea you were here. We saw you with Burner at the Black Sheep like 3 years ago. Lenny, as though I should have known. And Dave, he's got your CD. We fucking love you, man. This is so great. Lenny had long red curly hair, fair skin and freckles, a thin face but puffy around the eyes. Dave was clean cut and casually good looking, like a jock who hadn't trained for a year, quiet and a perpetual grin. They bought me a double Jameson, and being a Monday night, they got a jump on last call and ordered 6 more doubles so we could catch up. I didn't know them well enough to catch up, but I was taking the 3:30 a.m. bus back to Montreal, and I needed to kill a couple of hours. Near the end of our last double, Lenny interrupted conversation as though overcome. Chris, you don't have to catch that 3:30 bus back to Montreal. It was an Obi-Wan Kenobi-style statement that he let settle while looking me in the eye as he slid 3 white pills across the table and let them cluster ominously in the middle, stretched and magnified through my tumbler of whiskey. They're clean, he said. They're from the hippies. Having not heard the words clean and hippies used in conjunction before, I understood he was referring to the chemical purity of his offering. Dave grinned and nodded. Lenny stayed serious but glint-eyed, and the 3 of us wordlessly each picked up one of the pills, raised our glasses, and popped them in our mouths, washing them down with the Jameson. We walked the Ottawa streets, a light snow falling. It was midwinter, chilly but calm. Lenny did all the talking. Check this picture out. Isn't she amazing? She's 6 now. I'm trying to get to the point where she knows I'm her dad. Her mom, she knows she can't not let me see her because I'm totally good now. There's nothing she can bitch about. My jaw had locked up already, and Dave, attuned to my transition, immediately offered me 3 different kinds of candies. I hadn't remembered going to a convenience store, so Dave was either always prepared or did this every day. I wasn't comprehending literally Lenny's steady stream of language. It had become the sonic equivalent of flannel or sudsy dishwater. When his stream of consciousness babble stopped, the 3 of us connected, looked knowingly in each other's swimming eyes, breathed deeply, exulted, okay, okay, and twirled around in the falling snow like people from a Christmas movie who have found redemption. We finally found the perfect buzz. Everybody come and have a hit on us. We wish you all the same, killing time and killing pain. We ended up on the steps of the Parliament buildings. In the icy mist, the perfectly placed lights illuminating the sandstone and wrought iron, the glowing clock face atop the tower, it looked amazing. Lenny, Dave, and I ran up and down the steps over and over, spinning, laughing, shouting out, "It's a pop-up book!" What is a country? Is this even here? We started howling like coyotes to hear our echo bounce off the walls when a security guard appeared at the bottom of the steps. "Look at this," we said to him. "Look at this, friend. What's your name? What's your name? We love you." "Okay then, loud and clear, buddy. Moving on." And we all started skipping with varying degrees of success. We gathered by a monument of a past prime minister in mid-stride, and Lenny and Dave came in close. "I know you don't know us, man, but you know you're safe, don't you, brother? You are so among friends. Come here. You are among friends, Chris. Look at us. Look at Dave. Look at me. This is good, okay?" I nodded. It was good. I wasn't afraid. I felt fantastic. We had a long 3-way hug and hailed each other's chests and shoulders deeply, murmuring incomprehensibly just long, drawn-out, rumbling hums. Lenny was shivering. "We need to get you warmed up, buddy. Dave said while stroking Lenny's long curly hair. Walking with intent, Lenny told me in a frozen-faced slur about the 19-year-old girl living with him, how she was from out of town and in her first-year university, and how he thought of her like a younger sister and was really protective of her because she was really pretty and sweet and innocent, and he wanted to make sure guys didn't take advantage of her. He called her to say we were coming over to warm up and that we were super high and sorry it was so late, but we'll try to be as quiet as we can, and we've got Chris Demeanor with us, and he's famous. I was hauling my guitar and backpack. You're giving me those, my friend. I gave him the backpack. No, both of them, he insisted. Dave and I were a few paces behind Lenny, and as we approached a road that was lined on both sides by substantial snowbanks, Lenny took a run at it in order to traverse the hump more speedily. He did not, however, test the consistency of the snow. It had a deceiving crust over top of it, so he got decent liftoff with one foot, but the second foot broke through the crust and got stuck in the snowbank, and Lenny fell spread-eagled face first onto the street. My backpack still in one hand, guitar in the other, arms splayed out. He popped up fast from the asphalt, remarkably composed, handed the guitar and backpack to me, and slowly moved his hand toward his face to check for damage. There was blood all over his mouth and chin, blood dripped onto the pavement. The drops looked black against the gray road, but when a snowflake hit one of the drops of blood, it momentarily revealed its origins, and it seemed to glow deep ochre red for a moment as it melted. We silently grooved on this for a few seconds. Until Lenny looked up, mild panic in his moony eyes. We have to go to the hospital, guys. Dave and I made a telepathic agreement that going to the hospital right now would significantly alter the vibe. And we consoled Lenny emphatically. Come here, we said. And Dave found some fresh snow and used it to wipe blood from Lenny's mouth. Oh, Lenny, it's fine, Dave said. No worries. And Lenny said, no, it's bad. There was a pretty hefty gash in his lip. No, Lenny, it just bleeds a lot from there. Let's see your teeth. Lenny's teeth seemed intact, and so I gave him a napkin to stop the bleeding and said, Lenny, relax. You know what? We're going to go home and get warm and clean you up, and you are going to look in the mirror and you are going to be relieved. You're going to be like pleasantly surprised because it is not going to be nearly as bad as you think it is. Your teeth are all good, which is the big main important thing. And it's just the lip. It'll heal so fast. Lenny was placated enough to agree the next step was warmth and a mirror. There was a small bag of fine chocolates attached to the doorknob at Lenny's apartment with a note on it saying, "Enjoy the chill, boys." We quietly entered, and Dave and I sat in the living room taking off our socks and plunging our bare feet into a sheepskin rug. Lenny came back from the bathroom. "I'm not smiling because of my lip, but I'm happy," he said, lifting fresh gauze from the cut to show us. Lenny, Dave, and I, and Lenny's roommate, who had given up on sleeping and come to join us in her pajamas, each took another tablet. We put on an electronica playlist that Lenny says takes you through the trip tip to tail. We sucked on chocolates. Dave started making out with Lenny's innocent 19-year-old roommate on the armrest of the couch, and Lenny and I danced together face to face for 3 hours. Bouncing, hands up to our chins like man squirrels, passing a bottle of water between us. Lenny walked me to the station at 10 a.m. Lenny, that was... You know, last night I played that song for the first time, The Perfect Buzz. It's so fucking cool that after all this, that you were there to hear that song for the very first time, eh? Totally, man, said Lenny, clearly moved. I mean, it's wild because, like, sometimes you take it and it's just like, it takes you where it always usually does, or sometimes it's late, or sometimes you know there's nothing special about it, and then sometimes it takes you, like, exactly where you want, or even it takes you somewhere you totally weren't thinking, but it's like perfect. It's like the perfect bus. On the way back to Montreal, I was out of my seat most of the time, going up and down the aisle with a bag of jujubes, asking if anyone wanted any or if they wanted newspapers. It took me 2 days to recover, and only on the third day after the gig did I open my guitar case. It had hit the road that night and was fractured right around the full circumference of its body. Last year, I talked to a musician friend who had just been in Ontario and had met Lenny. Hey, I met this guy, long red curly hair. He said you had a night with him about 10 years ago and he fell face first on the road while he was carrying your guitar and sacrificed his face to save it from getting busted. Yeah, I said. He totally did. Sitting in lawn chairs in the backyard at dusk, a clarity and serenity bathing both of us, we laid the speakers in the grass and put on swordfish trombones, elected to bring it home with a South African Merlot. I remembered I still had a couple Xanax from my mom. Ronnie rose and shook my hand. I love this life. I love you, man. Hey, hey, we finally found the perfect buzz. Thanks.